North Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This is Eagle Talk on the NCCU Sports Network.
Here's your host, Chris Hooks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Eagle Talk. It's game week here in the Bull City as North Carolina Central's football team heads up the road to Greenville, North Carolina to take on the Pirates of East Carolina. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on ESPN News, but don't forget to tune in to the NCCU Sports Network's coverage starting at 7:30, beginning with the Denny's of Durham pregame show. This is Eagle Talk. On this edition, we'll have on the head coach of the Eagles, Jerry Mack, along with the starting quarterback for North Carolina Central, Quinn Billerman. So let's go ahead and get into it, Coach. Since December, you've been running 100 miles an hour. Now's the time. It's game week. I mean, I know you have to be extremely excited right now.
We are. You know, our football team, our coaching staff, our support staff, everybody is just fired up about the opportunity to go down there and play East Carolina. Well,
certainly, I know for you, you know, like I said, since December, you've been going 100 miles an hour. What are you thinking about right now? What is going through your mind as you get set? And forget the team, forget, you know, preparation on you personally. What's going through your head right now?
Well, it's just an exciting time for me and my family as well, just because, you know, it's years of preparation and we're finally getting to that point. We're getting closer and closer to the day to walk on the field and be a head football coach of a Division I program. So, you know, just, you know, butterflies all around, but at the same time, you know, I got a preparation for our team.
You're through fall camp. Do you feel like you had a successful fall camp in implementing your system and everything?
I really do. I think the guys grew as a football team. We cleaned up some things from the spring football. We brought 25 new Eagles into our program, which is going to help us down the road as well, as far as depth and as far as being able to come in here and contribute right away. So we developed the chemistry that we needed for our football team, and that was the key, you know, over the summer and the fall camp, to get those guys acclimated to what we do is really good.
You talk about chemistry. I think, forget chemistry, I think you've put together a family. Like, these guys, you see them at practice, you know, it's in between the lines, extremely competitive. They get after it, but afterwards it's a family atmosphere. You can tell these guys genuinely love one another, and I think your staff certainly shows that as well.
Well, that's what it's all about. You know, at the end of the day, you got to play for the man next to you, and that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create that culture, create that chemistry on our football team. So not only from this year, hopefully we have a good season, down the road and throughout, you know, tradition, you know, we want to build a great program here in North Carolina Central.
If you had to grade yourself through the preseason as your first time around as a head coach, what would you give yourself?
I think, you know, I would grade myself a B. You know, the first year, it's still a lot of things that, you know, I wasn't kind of a curveball that I wasn't quite used to, but I think we handled it. You know, the object of the game is to make adjustments. We put a game plan in, it's never going to be exactly how you draw it up, so you have to be able to adjust on the run.
It's interesting, you know, as you self-reflect on it, was there anything, you're pretty mature for your age, you know, that people talk about you being as young as you are, but I think you handle things pretty well, and I think you lean upon the right people. As preseason practice went on, was there anything that kind of surprised you as a head coach?
You know, not really, to be honest with you. You know, this was my 10th preseason camp that I went through, so, you know, it's year to year, it's kind of the same issues, either with eating, cafeteria, cramping, concussions, you know, a big issue in college football now. So that was a little bit different this year. But for the most part, it was just kind of the routine.
Just a different seat?
Just a different seat. That's really all.
Different seat and more weight, I can understand. All right, let's sort of get a small preview of East Carolina. I mean, they're a team that's won 22 straight games against FCS opponents. They've been to 9 bowls since 2000. I think Ruffing McNeil has done an excellent job there. When you say East Carolina, what's the first thing as far as their team that comes to mind?
Just consistency. You know, like you talked about, consistency in their program. You know, over the years, they, you know, went to several bowl games, and obviously Coach Ruffing's done a good job, but even before his regime, you know, they still were a good football program. So they've been able to build a quality program. Is something that potentially we want to get to at North Carolina Central as well.
And you and him kind of have known each other for quite some time. Could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I passed across a few times, but I really got to know him a little bit better at the Pigskin Classic, and I think he's a great man, you know. And, you know, it was just his teams reflect exactly how good he is.
And I think you think about East Carolina, you think about offense, and you think about that they love to sling the ball around. One of the top 15 teams in the country last year as far as passing. You look at scoring; they were 8th in the country. So keeping them off the board is obviously a very, very tough thing. What are some things you've seen from them that have impressed you?
Hey, like you said, offensively, they can score, points fast, and they score a lot of them. So, our goal is to try to slow that down and try to play a good, sound defensive game plan. And defensively, they fly around to the football. They got some athletes out there at East Carolina.
And I guess two names that come to mind as far as offense, you got Shane Carden and you got Justin Hardy. I mean, that's probably the best 1-2 quarterback receiver tandem in the country. You could compete with anybody. Hardy with 114 catches, Carden over 4,000 yards. And it just seems like that they just have it together. What have you seen on film that's been really impressive? Just
the chemistry. He can just close his eyes and trust what Justin's going to be, and the ball is there. And ball placement. And whenever you have that kind of chemistry from a quarterback-receiver tandem, that's always a dangerous combination.
Let's look at us real quick. You named Quinn Billerman the starter, but in no shape or form, Malcolm Bell will certainly see some action. For you, what gave the edge to Quinn, and what do you see Malcolm's role being?
Well, I think what gave the edge was consistency. Being able to lead our team, being able to lead over the summer. We always stress the speed of the leaders, the speed of the pack. And I think Quinn has showed and exhibited that throughout, since day one when he got here. And that kind of gave him the winning edge to name him the starter. Malcolm showed great flashes, not only through spring, but also during camp. And he's too talented not to play or not to get an opportunity to play. So we will have some things in our game plan that kind of feature him as well.
And it seems like you look at your two deep, there's a lot of guys on there that haven't really gotten the chance to prove themselves. And I think one thing that is going to be interesting this year, a lot of question marks about some players and their, how much they're going to do. That's got to be interesting for you. You're going to learn a lot real quick come Saturday night.
I will. The bright lights are finally on, so we get a chance to see who rises to the occasion. I'm looking forward. I'm really excited about seeing these guys play. I think it's some future stars out there on the field, and I think they'll show what they can do on Saturday.
Offensively, do you feel like, as far as implementing and getting everything in the book, in the playbook, ready to go, you're where you want to be, or is it just something just you got to continually, perpetually get better at?
I think each week you add some new wrinkles, but I think our base game plan and our base package is in. Now it's just a chance for us to present a different look week to week and some different wrinkles within what we do.
Defensively, with the change that you've made with the personnel, as far as now it's a 4-2-5, 4-3 kind of look. What are some things Eagle fans will notice? I know you have like a C.J. Moore, a weak side safety type situation where he may be kind of a rover. Is that for him? Will we see him rush the quarterback, or he'll be all over the place?
I think you're going to see a young man like C.J. just, he's going to be rangy. He's going to be a guy that's back there running around from hash to hash. You're going to see Ryan Smith. He's got some flexibility now. We allowed him to play a little cornerback position for us and also safety. You've seen Ty Brown. He's now putting his hand in the dirt and rushing the passer. So it's just some little tweaks here and there. And I think you're going to see a faster brand of football, hopefully. Those guys got less thinking than they had last year, so they'll be able to fly to the ball a lot faster.
You look at the special teams aspect of it. You've got Tilkey, who's certainly done a good job to earn the starting position at the punter position, and then Brandon McLaren has earned the kicking position, so to speak. Those guys are unproven right now. What are, as far as for them to, you think for them just to get some action early to get those butterflies out?
I think so. Brandon's played a little bit in the past over the past few years, and I got a lot of confidence in both of those guys. They've worked hard over the summer. They've had a great camp, and I'm excited to see them play as well. The thing about that position is it's just all mental. We want to make sure we put them in the best situations possible. We don't want to be backed up, and we don't want to have to kick 50-yard field goals all the time. The whole key is to develop some confidence in that position.
Let's just look at the overall aspect. I mean, you always, when these matchups, the FBS and the FCS, it's all about, getting off to a good start. And what's the key for you, and what is your mindset to push upon the guys to getting a good start against an East Carolina?
I think the key is control what we can control and control ourselves, which means we don't want any penalties. We don't want a lot of pre-snap and post-snap penalties. We don't want to turn the ball over. We don't want a sloppy picture. We want to go out there and we want to execute our sideline communication. We want to make sure on the field we're executing the plays that were called and signaled in. It's just those small things that, basically make the difference between winning and losing a football game.
And I think, anybody that's come to practice will know that you guys have music playing a lot of the times, and it serves about 7 different purposes. And I think for this weekend, that's one of the purposes, because you guys are always huddled near or somewhere near the music, And so you're having to kind of learn how to talk when it's loud, and there's going to be 50,000 people come Saturday night.
Right. I mean, you never can actually get the actual game atmosphere at practice. It's really tough. But we try to simulate that as much as possible with air horns going behind the huddle, with, like you said, music playing. Sometimes we do a silent count, things like that. Because not only in this game will it help, it'll help us down the road as well.
As we inch closer to this contest, what's the mindset? What are some things you're going to do to kind of tailor things back to get the guys ready?
I think we got to make sure we practice smart. You know, we got to make sure we still continue to have a physical brand of practice, but also, too, we got to get everybody to Saturday. So we want to have as many bodies healthy as possible.
Coach, again, we certainly appreciate the time as the countdown to your debut continues. Final question, though. What's the last thing that's going to be on your mind come kickoff?
The last thing that was on my mind, probably let's just get to the field.
So that's going to be a long day on Saturday, huh?
It is going to be an extremely long day with 8 o'clock kickoff.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck, and certainly look forward to seeing what you put out on the field come Saturday night.
Thank you, Chris.
That is head coach Jerry Mack here on the first segment of Eagle Talk as we count down to the 2014 football season. When we return, we'll talk to the starting quarterback of your Eagles, Quinn Billerman. Thanks for watching Eagle Talk right here on the NCCU Sports Network.
Why should you join Team 23?
The biggest savings.
The best selection.
The championship service.
A lifetime guarantee.
The best values.
The people.
There's only one team, Team 23.
Team 23 means your engine is guaranteed for life, free oil changes for life, and much, much more. Michael Jordan Nissan is Team 23.
Isn't it time for you to join Team 23?
Michael Jordan Nissan, 15501 north of I-40.
North Carolina Central University is one of our nation's most prized assets.
Our law school ranks 4th in the nation for clinical opportunities.
We offer cutting-edge technology in the biosciences.
We help students master their craft.
At North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
Welcome back to the second segment of Eagle Talk. As you can see, we have the quarterback here at North Carolina Central, Quinn Billerman, earned the starting job here in the preseason from Raleigh, North Carolina. Quinn, I know you got to be excited about that. Last year this time you were at New Mexico Military Institute. Now you're here starting quarterback for North Carolina Central. What's that been like for you?
Well, it's definitely been different for me. But one of my goals when I went out to New Mexico was to come back home to the East Coast, and you know, I really wanted to come back to North Carolina, you know, where I call home. You know, but it's a lot different, you know, coming back here. Weather's a lot different. It really doesn't rain.
Yeah.
So, you know, during training camp, we were challenged with some rain, a couple practices. So usually that didn't happen in Mexico.
So tell us a little bit about the Institute. Was there some, I mean, what did you have to do military-wise at that school?
Well, you had to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. You had to be outside. You line up in what we called formation, and take accountability so that everybody makes sure you're there. And you'd march to breakfast or, you know, whatever meal you have to go to. And then, you know, you'd have class throughout the day, and then we'd have practice. We'd have like a 2-hour slot for practice, and then we'd have night study hall where you had to be in your room studying. So it was definitely a full day of activities.
All right, so I think it's been very interesting to watch you and Malcolm go through this whole ordeal as far as the quarterback battle is concerned, because, you know, very easily both of you, either one of you could be jaded or whatever about doing whatever as far as who won the position, but it really seems like both of you are in it to win it, so to speak. You're both in it to do your part, to do your role, and to do what's best for the team, and I think that's pretty endearing.
Yeah, you know, I think that me and Malcolm are, you know, we're friends on the field and we're friends off the field. And, you know, we're the ones that are leading the cheers for each other, I think. And we give each other advice about, you know, if I come off the field and he sees something, he'll tell me, and vice versa.
Well, and that can only help the team. When you look at him, his strengths, you know, he can help you in that sort of, so it really seems like you two have really done a good job of that. You know, as far as it's concerned, you know, what are his strengths, and what are you excited to see when he gets on the field?
Well, Malcolm is very explosive. You know, not only in him running the football, but he's very explosive throwing the football. And honestly, he probably has the most arm strength out of any quarterback I've ever seen. And and when he really drives the ball and throws it, he can make any throw he wants.
For you, what are your strengths, and what are you looking forward to showing the Eagle fans?
I think my poise is my my greatest strength. Being able to stay calm in the pocket and delivering the football where it needs to go.
It's been interesting. I've gotten a chance to know you over the past couple weeks, going to practice. Here in the studio, we did some video stuff for the video board, and it seems like the guys really take to you as their leader. And it really, to me, it really showed the scrimmage. There were some receivers that weren't catching a couple passes, and you could have easily just dogged them and done, gotten on them, because that makes you look bad if they drop them. You didn't. You just can't. You clapped. For you, what was that all about?
Well, I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna put somebody down. I'm a guy who's gonna try to get them back up to the level where they were at. I'm not going to ever really yell at anybody. Sometimes I do get frustrated and I might let a yell out, but I'm going to, go over there and talk to them, before I do anything.
You excited about playing East Carolina coming up this Saturday?
Of course. I've been, ever since we got here, ever since the schedule came out, that's been the only things on our mind.
How do you feel like fall practice has gone thus far, getting ready for the season?
I think it was a very productive fall practice. I think that, there were some days that offense had great days. There were some days defense had great days. But I think overall, we really evolved as a team.
What are the fans going to see here this season with the offense?
Speed, tempo. We're going to be playing fast, a lot of explosive plays. We might not be throwing the ball downfield. Might be just some short stuff, but we're going to put the ball in playmakers' hands and let them do what they do.
For you as a quarterback, and Malcolm can probably answer this too as well, to have a guy like Andre Clark back healthy, you guys be excited
you could see a difference between him now and when in the spring. He's fully healthy now, and the first scrimmage we had, he broke off a 60-yard touchdown, like the second play of the scrimmage, and you could just see it. It's night and day. How much he's gotten better, and his knee is 100% healthy now.
When you look at this team as you get set to take on East Carolina, it really seems like there's a lot of question marks, a lot of people that are making their debuts or haven't really done a lot. But it really seems like the confidence of this team is really high right now. Where do you see that, and what do you think about that?
Well, I think that we're a very confident bunch. We all believe in each other. All of us guys on the offense believe in the guys on defense, and they believe in us. And I think that goes to the thing about us being a family. Family believes in one another, and we believe that we could do anything.
Who has the better socks on the best socks on the team?
I want to say myself, but I think it's a toss-up between me and actually a freshman who really doesn't get much love for his socks, but our offensive lineman Sterling, low-key has really great socks.
Really?
Yeah.
You're wearing Spider-Man today.
Yeah, I got Spider-Man going today, had Batman the other day, so, I got a wide variety of socks.
Well, it's funny, though, how things have evolved. It's almost like the sock game is like, I used to wear ankle socks, so, like, back for me, it was cool to show ankles, but now it's like guys like to wear their socks up. What's your favorite pair of socks?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I think I would have to say my Batman socks.
Batman, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody has a pair of socks. It's either RG3 or somebody on the team, I swear I've seen, has the Superman socks with the cape.
I don't know about on the team. I know RG3 had them when he won the Heisman, but I would love to get those.
Chris Hooks, play-by-play voice of the NCCU Sports Network, with Quinn Billerman as we get set for the Saturday night contest between North Carolina Central and East Carolina. Obviously, you've done some film work getting ready for that game. What have you seen from East Carolina's defense on film that kind of intrigues you, that maybe you guys have a chance to do some things here?
Well, the thing that stands out to me is how good their defensive line is. They're very good in the run stopping. There's not a lot you can do against their run defense. I think it was top 10, top 5 in the nation last year. Mm-hmm. But I think we have some things in game plan that we can exploit, hopefully. But I think they're a pretty talented, experienced bunch.
When you look at yourself in the offense, is it a key for you to just get out there and have a good drive to start things off, whether you score or not? I mean, I'm sure obviously we all want to score, but is it just to get out and move the football a little bit, get some momentum? Is that the key for you early?
Well, I think for any offense, that's the key. You know, you want to get out there and put a good drive together to start the game, get some confidence, you know, get some completions, you know, get some good runs, make some first downs. I think that's the key.
Well, Quinn, we're certainly excited to see what you could do here come this weekend against East Carolina. You know, and I know it's got to be a dream for you to be under center here at North Carolina Central against East Carolina at home. I wish you the best of luck, and let's go get those Pirates.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's Quinn Billerman, quarterback here at North Carolina Central. We'll take one more timeout and wrap up this edition of Eagle Talk right here on the NCCU Sports Network.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
North Carolina Central University is one of our nation's most prized assets.
Our law school ranks 4th in the nation for clinical opportunities.
We offer cutting-edge technology in the biosciences.
We help students master their craft.
At North Carolina Central University, we are a first-choice premier institution.
That'll do it for this edition of Eagle Talk. We certainly thank all the students here in the TV studio that helped out here for today's broadcast. Another special thanks to Felecia Casey-Hicks for all her help as well. Be sure to tune in starting on Saturday night, 7:30, Denny's of Durham pregame show as we get you ready for the first ever meeting between North Carolina Central and East Carolina. So long, everybody.
As North Carolina Central is going to be picked up and knocked for by Tim Daniel. Picked up now by C.J. Moore. C.J. Moore, no one even.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.